Okay, let's get into it. We've all been there, right? Wrestling with some stubborn bottle cap, maybe saying a few choice words under our breath. Well, today, we're going to peek behind the curtain at the surprisingly complicated world of childproof packaging. It's this whole field of high stakes design that, honestly, most of us never think twice about, until, of course, it doesn't work. And this quote just nails the central paradox we're talking about. You see, child-resistant packaging, or CRP, is this silent success story. When it's doing its job, it's totally invisible. But just one single failure, that can spiral into medical, legal, and brand nightmares. It's a technology that really lives on a knife's edge. So, let's try to reframe how we think about this stuff. Forget the annoyance of a tricky cat for a second and think of it as an invisible guardian. It's this critical, often unnoticed layer of safety sitting right there in our homes. In many cases, it's the very first and most important line of defense. Now, this is the real heart of the challenge. The goal isn't just to make a bottle a kid can't open. I mean, any engineer could probably figure that out. The real genius is in striking this incredible balance, making it tough for a toddler, but still easy for a grandparent, all while trying to be sustainable and fitting a brand's look and feel. That's where it gets really, really tricky. Okay, so that's the design puzzle. Now let's dig into why it actually matters, because the stakes here are, well, they're incredibly high. This isn't just some theoretical design project. When you get this wrong, the consequences in the real world are profound.
The core problem we're trying to solve is accidental ingestion. And listen, this isn't some rare thing. It's a major failure point in consumer safety. It's actually becoming more common as all of these wellness products and supplements find their way into our homes. They might seem harmless, but the packaging is that first critical control layer, long before any warning labels or adult supervision even come into play.
And because the risks are so real, you better believe this field is governed by some serious, strict, global regulations. We're talking about major laws like the Poison Prevention Packaging Act here in the US and international standards like ISO 8317. These aren't just suggestions. They are legally required, with incredibly rigorous testing to back them up. And look, this isn't just about your prescription bottle anymore. The range is huge. Of course, you've got pharmaceuticals, but then there's the massive supplements and wellness industry. And just because something's natural doesn't mean it's safe in large doses for a child. Then you have cannabis products, everyday household cleaners, nicotine liquids. The need for this tech is absolutely everywhere. So this brings us to the core design conflict, what I like to call the great balancing act. See, creating one of these successful packages is a constant battle between competing and often completely contradictory pressures. And here it is, the classic dilemma. On one hand, the package has to be clever enough to defeat a persistent, curious little kid. But on the other hand, it has to be simple enough for any adult to use, especially seniors or people who might have arthritis or limited dexterity. Because if an adult can't get it open easily, what might they do? They might just leave it open on the counter, which defeats the entire purpose. And the conflict doesn't even stop there. I mean, look at all these other pressure points. Will the plastic weaken after being opened 100 times? Will it crack if it's shipped in the freezing cold? Are the little icons that show you how to open it actually understood by everyone, everywhere? And how do you balance a brand that wants to look friendly and minimalist with the clear safety signals a package has to send? And maybe most importantly, it has to work in the chaos of the real world, not just a pristine lab. All right, as if that wasn't complicated enough, let's throw a very modern wrench into the works. The push for sustainability. It's a fantastic goal, of course, but it's one where really good intentions can lead to some very unintended and dangerous consequences. So, now designers are caught in this whole new tug of war. There's huge pressure from everybody, consumers, companies, to use less plastic, to find more eco-friendly materials. But at the exact same time, they're legally and ethically bound to maintain these proven safety standards. And as you can imagine, those two goals don't always play nice together. So the key here is to really understand what works and what doesn't. Using recycled plastics, that can be totally fine, as long as the material's integrity and tolerances are maintained. But where brands get into big trouble is when they just assume that some new biodegradable material is going to act like traditional plastic. A lot of them just don't hold up to repeated twisting or to humidity or to temperature changes, and that can lead to a quiet failure that no one notices until it's way too late. At the end of the day, a sustainability win that compromises safety isn't a win at all. Okay, so with all these conflicts and all these different pressures pulling in every direction, what is the solution?
How do designers navigate this maze to create something that is safe, accessible, sustainable, and still on brand?
Well, the big reveal is there is no single magic bullet. There's no one perfect design. A push and turn cap that's perfect for a bottle of pills could be completely wrong for, say, a bottle of cleaning liquid. The best solution depends entirely on the context, what the product is, who is using it, and how they're using it. And that leads to the most successful strategy out there, the system approach. This means you stop treating the childproof cap as just some separate component you slap on at the end. Instead, you treat it as an integrated part of the entire product system. You think about everything from the thickness of the liquid inside to how it's going to be handled by a tired parent at 6 in the morning. It's about testing for the real world and making sure that safety and compliance always, always come before a flashy marketing claim. So I'll just leave you with this question. The next time you find yourself struggling with one of those difficult caps, just take a second. Will you see it as just another daily frustration? Or will you maybe see it for what it truly is, a pretty sophisticated piece of unseen science, an invisible guardian doing its job perfectly?